comprehension and how to read a diagram. The students were in charge of learning this, and but seeing them make observations where I had not already given them, they were able to successfully hit the nail on the head exactly with what the goal of that build was.
It's more fun without just watching the teacher do it because we get to build it and she gets to watch us.
Each student did truly get to participate 100%, and it was a team effort.
My favorite part about being able to work with a partner is that you can't do something because it's hard for you. Somebody else can help you.
Seeing the students' engagement, seeing the smiles of success, the feeling that they are actually able to do something because they're able to work at their own pace. They were all able to succeed. They all feel confident, and they've mastered the material in a much quicker and a much more meaningful way than had I tried to do this using a different resource.
Okay, powerful morning, everyone. We welcome you again for another webinar series brought to you by Felta Multimedia Incorporated, together with Power INC and STEMified Learning Center. Powerful morning sa ating pong mga kaibigang kaguruan mula Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao, maging sa ating mga kaibigan na nasa ibang bansa na patuloy na sumusubaybay sa programa po ng Power INC with Felta Multimedia. So ngayong umaga, atin pong ipagpapatuloy ang ating pong aralin patungkol po sa ating smart cities. So last Saturday, diniscuss po natin ang patungkol po sa ecological sustainability and renewable energy. Today, ang atin naman pong pag-uusapan at tatalakayin ay patungkol po sa Series 2 ng ating smart cities na tinatawag na food, the future of food and agriculture. So muli, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Magandang umaga sa ating mga kasamahan, no, from Felta. Good morning, Ma'am Maylin.
Good morning.
Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Okay? So before we start with our webinar, no, let us have a prayer muna, no, na pangungunahan po ng ating pong kaibigan, bayaw, no, na pastor, na si Pastor Sunny Medina. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Pastor Sunny.
Good morning, Chairman Wax. Thank you very much. Powerful morning, everyone. Wow. Once again, we are so blessed with this free webinar. Kasi it will not only help us, but we will be enlightened, I believe, no, by this timely topic, the future of food and agriculture. Before I pray, let's go to the Bible and look what God is telling about food. Mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, food, from the very beginning, it was not the primary concern of man, really. Because man was well provided by God by that time. They have the bountiful life. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 says, then God said, I give you every bearing seed in the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. So God gave this his creation for food for man. But in Genesis chapter 2, verse 8 and 9, let me read it to you very fast. Okay? Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put man he had formed. And the Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge and good. So all they have to do is to obey God, no, in order for them to enjoy the food that God had created. But sadly, they failed, and they eat the forbidden food, that what God had told them not to eat and not to touch. From free food, no, to Genesis chapter 3 verse 19 God says, by the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food. Kaya nga from libre, they work for them to have food. But God is really still good because He helped man to find their food by that time. And from then on, it becomes the most essential requirements, no, for sustenance of human life. Now, food is the supreme need of human. But God has so gracious. In spite of man's disobedience, He helped them every day and give their food, their daily bread. But God warns us, brothers and sisters, friends, like what He told Adam and Eve, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds in the mouth of God. Yes, we hardly work for food to our body, but let us not forget that our soul also need food, which is the Word of God. By reading and understanding the Word of God, brothers and sisters, food is very essential to our body, but don't forget, our soul also needs food. God bless you. And if you want more about this topic, go to Jesus the Bread of Life on Facebook. So this morning, our resource speaker, Jenny Lu Pangilinan, together with our moderator, Chairman Wax of Power, and Madam Maylene Aviva of Felta, and Ma'am Annalyn, has prepared a table to feed our mind for the topic, the future the future of food and agriculture. Okay, everybody, let's pray. Our Father who provide our daily and continue to enlighten us by your word, the food for our soul, and thank you for giving our skills, talents, wisdom, and knowledge by getting our food every day. And by this webinar, may we be all satisfied and well informed by this timely topic. Continue to be with us from start to finish. Please, Lord, do not allow any hindrances. We all expecting a good webinar this day so that all participants will be satisfied and well fed. Thank you, Father, our great provider. That's all our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm your friend and brother in Christ, Reverend Fernando Medina, saying more power to all. God bless.
Amen. Maraming salamat sa napakagandang mensahe na inhatid po sa atin ni Pastor Sunny about food and agriculture na even po sa Bible times, no, meron na pong farming, no, meron na pong agriculture. And
Yes.
because of that, no, ating pang pagpapatuloy ngayon sa mas mataas na technology, no, na gagamitin po natin. And that is the simple machine na ipapakita po sa atin mamaya ng ating pong guest speaker and additional information, okay, for this webinar today. Ma'am Maylene, magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Magandang umaga rin po. Powerful morning to all. And welcome to our series 2 about smart cities. And today we're going to investigate and understand more about gears, wheels, axles, levers, and pulleys. Ito ay ginagamit sa ating agriculture. And it's found in agriculture for improving our general production of yields, harvesting, seeding, and also picking, and also environmental monitoring and soil analysis. Yun po ay pag-aaralan natin at ang gagamitin natin ay robotics. So we are going to introduce to you simple machines and mechanisms and also how it's going to be related in agriculture. So agribots tayo. And I'd like to make special mention, happy birthday to our speaker. Our guest speaker today is Jenny Lu. Magandang, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ma'am
Asan daw
Annalyn.
siya? Happy birthday, Miss Jenny Lu. Di na namin tatanungin kung ilang taon ka na, pero we are so blessed to have you in all our powerful Saturday mornings. Ayan, yan na si Jenny Lu. Happy birthday.
Kaway ako na kaway eh.
Virtual party na lang tayo mamaya. Yes, all right?
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yan po,
Okay.
napasaya natin dahil we have a special occasion today. But again, I'd like to say that we are going to learn about something very relevant about agriculture, agribots. At napaka-importante ito dahil food security is really issue now, especially during the challenging times. So with that, learn well, and I hope that you will have an insightful day today. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us, and happy birthday again, Jenny Lou.
Ma'am Jen, happy birthday. Akala ko si Ate yung may birthday.
Talagang dinidikdik happy birthday. All right.
Parang mapipilitan ako mag-send ng virtual slice of cake, virtual spaghetti.
Mamaya magpadala ka, ha?
We will accept.
Papadala
All
ko
right.
dyan.
Now let's proceed.
Okay. So, to continue with our series of webinar, no? Katulad ng sinabi ko po kanina, last week we started the series in Smart Cities with ecological sustainability and renewable energy. For today naman po, we're going to discuss about the future of food and agriculture. Siyempre, before na ipakilala ko po sa inyo ang ating resource speaker na alam ko na medyo laging ikaw, Ma'am Jen, no? Laging ikaw. Kaya natututo talaga ang bawat kaguruan ngayon dahil sa'yo, no? At of course, no, with Ma'am Annalyn, no? Si Ma'am Annalyn po will give a demonstration, okay? A demonstration before na ipakilala o ipakita ni Ma'am Jenny Lou ang ating pong topic o subject for discussion. Ma'am Annalyn, magandang umaga po sa'yo.
Good morning, everyone. Powerful morning. Happy birthday, Miss Jen.
Okay, ma'am. So, sino ba mag-start? Demo muna, di ba?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
demo. So, let's have a demonstration from
Yes,
Miss Annalyn Aban, the robotic master trainer of Pelta TechBook. Okay, proceed, Ma'am Annalyn.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, let me share my slide. Okay, this morning I'm going to introduce the concept of simple machines. Okay, while I'm setting up, I'm going to discuss the concept of simple machines. And then I'm going to show some actual model that we have from the Lego physical set.
Okay, so while doing the setup, no, ihanda po ni Ma'am Annalyn Aban ang kanya pong simple machine na i-demonstrate po sa atin for today. Okay? So, okay na, Ma'am Annalyn?
Yes, we're good?
Okay.
All right.
So, let's move on.
All right. So, thank you so much for having me this morning again. I'm from Lego Education Academy and from Pelta Multimedia Incorporated. This morning, I'm going to introduce the concept of simple machines. So let's discover how the real works, works with simple machines. We use simple machines every day. They make it easy for us to do work, and simple machines work using a single part, and they have very few or even no moving parts at all. So, talking about simple machines, it's all about force. When we talked about force, we're talking about on how we're gonna push, or we're talking about a pull effort, or making something a mass or load that moves a distance. A lever is an example of a simple machines. A crowbar, for example, it is a lever that can be used to move a large load with less effort than if you didn't have a machine to help you. The force applied to the lever makes the load move, but uses less effort than if the force was applied directly to the load. This makes the work easier to do. And where do we see simple machines being used in the real world? For example, when we are about to open a door, when we're about to turn on a faucet, when we open a can, or when we ride a bike. Now, let me introduce to you simple empowered machines core set solution components. This is the simple machine core set and introducing simple empowered machine activity pack. These materials are designed to be used by pair of students. Okay, these materials are designed to be used by pair of students. And the core set contains the elements needed to build of all the modules that comes with main and principle that described in the activity pack. But only one model can be built at a time. Please take note of that. And each core set contains four full color sets of building instructions for the four simple machines, including instruction for both of the principal models and the main models. The good thing about with this physical Lego set, it comes with 204 pieces Lego elements, including an element that comes with a brick separator. And each activity pack contains teaching suggestions and materials designed to enable teachers to teach effectively using the simple machine core set in our lessons. Now, how we will start working with simple machines. So simply, I'm going to show you some of the process on how we use a certain material inside the classroom. So simply what we need to do is introduce the concept of the simple machine, and then you focus in the day's lessons. So there are three procedures. First is we will simply present the information given in the overview of the machines. And when we talked about simple machines, we are talking about gears, wheels, axles, levers, and pulleys. Now, what we need to do is simply show the image for the classroom use that is already embedded in the activity pack. And then right afterwards, we can ask questions and discuss what we just shared about with the concept of the given model. And then right after that procedure, what we just need to do is simply present the relevant vocabulary, the vocabulary recommended in the simple machines overview or the themes chosen from the glossary. Now, please look at the simple machines lesson flow. What we just need to do is simply follow these three steps to ensure that a natural flow and progression in the student acquisition of new skills and knowledge. So we have here principal models, we have here the main activity, and the problem solving activity. By following this progression in the hands-on activities, we ensure a natural flow and a progression in student acquisition of skills and knowledge. Please ensure that everyone sees and understands the curriculum area addressed in these materials. And also, please make sure to ensure that they understand the flow and progressions of the hands-on activities. So first is simply build the basic knowledge using one or of all the principal models. Second, we need to apply this newly gained knowledge to complete the main activity. And then right afterwards, what we need to do is present the problem-solving activity for an extra challenge. Now, let's work within the four subject area. We have here gears, wheels and axle, levers, and pulley. Because of the limited amount of time that we have within the available time span, we'll only be covering one of these subject area. But you don't need to worry that because of all the subject follow the same progressions. So once you understand how the materials is structured, you will easily be able to apply what you've learned to the other three subject units. Then today we'll be focusing on the material related to pulleys. So I'll guide you through some principal model activities, and then the good thing about it, we can apply some basic pulley principles in the main activity, where you'll try to create an amusement activity for a theme park, right? So I have here the actual model with me. Let me share my camera. All right, there you go. So, talking about the different components that we have under simple machines, I have here sample models. Okay, this one, talking about gears. There you go. So, this is a simple teeth. This is a simple wheel that comes with teeth. Okay, so to do any work with a gear, you need to have at least two cogs. We also call this cogs with their teeth. And these are the teeth that fits to each together. And then what when we turn the other one, okay, it will make the other one turns as well. Okay, so this is a simple wheel that comes with a teeth. These are the teeth. Okay, so as you can see, we have here two sets of gears that when we combine together, it can create movements. There you go. So I have here the same size of gears in order for me to create movements. There you go. Look at the teeth. I have here two cogs of gears with same sizes. And then when I move the first gear, automatically it will create movements to the other gear. There you go. Right? And then right after gears, we also have here sample pulley. Right? Here's the thing. So a wheel on an axle that is designed to support the movement and the change of direction of a pot that cable that is connected to its belt. Look at this one. Right, there you go. Okay. Here's the thing. So it's simply transfer of power between the axle and the label of belt. Okay. Then we have here another sets. Okay. Here's the thing. The first one. Okay. For lever. For pulley. Okay. Wheels are connected via axles. Okay. And another one. Okay. So a simple machine is a mechanical device that changes the directions of the magnitude of a given force. So the simplest mechanism that used for mechanical advantage to multiply the given force. So I have here the actual set with me. This is the physical set. All right. So when we open the set, okay, this is what's inside the box. Okay, it comes with an inventory. Right, there you go. Comes with an inventory that comes with the pieces of what's inside the box. Okay, and then it also comes with a sorting tray. So in Lego, there are different ways on how we can sort the pieces inside the box. So it can be sort according to the elements functions, or it can be sort according to its color. As simple as that. Okay. So here are the pieces that we have inside the box. Right. There you go. And then the special thing about with this Lego pieces, it also comes with a building instructions, right? So we have here 4 sets, 1, okay, 2, 3, and 4, all right? Now let me share with you again my slides. Now let's introduce the police materials. Now the thing is, where do we use a pulley? Can you name some simple machine that use pulleys, and why do we use pulleys? Okay. Now, a pulley is most commonly defined as a wheel with a groove ring for a belt or a rope. A belt connecting pulleys that can slip, meaning that the effort is not being used efficiently. Now, this can be happen when the pulley belt is too loose, or if the pulley wheels differ in size, or on the other hand, if the pulley belt is too tight, the belt will create wasteful friction forces on the pulley. Now, the pulleys can be used to change the orientation of a pulling force. It can also change the rotations of direction. It can also change the orientations of a rotating movement, increasing a pulling force. And then it can also increase or decrease the speed of rotation and increase turning per force. Now, let me show you the principal models under pulley. So as you can see, the good thing about with the Lego set, it also comes with student worksheet, serves as the reference and instruction on how they gonna do the certain activity. So this is the example 1. Okay, here's the thing. Now, to ensure a strong introduction to the materials, it's very important for us to work with the principal models. This gives our student a basic understanding of a simple machine principle being taught, which they can apply later on their context. The student worksheet helps to ensure a good progression in the student work and force them to reflect on their work throughout the activity. It's a very good idea to introduce a simple machines related vocabulary as your student work the activities. Now, here we recommend introducing effort, load, pivot, and lever beam. Now, The thing is, we have already have here the actual model. So let's move forward. So let me show you an example activity that we can create with this simple machine set. Okay. Please take note that the good thing about with Lego education products, it's always comes with curriculum and lesson plan that is already integrated with science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So this is an example lessons that we can enjoy. So for main activity, we'll be talking about police. So for example, the lesson topic is all about the crazy floors. Okay, so what would be the learning objective for this sample activity? First is it will decrease speed of rotation, increase speed of rotation, changing directions of rotation, and what would be the related vocabulary that we can have with this certain topic? Drive wheel, driven wheel, and sleep. Now, setting up the activity should be engaging the participants. So what we need to do is set the learning objective for this activity by reading from the given slide. So what we have there is Sam and Sally that going to the fair. Okay, there is a pan attraction where you have to have good balance because the floor are crazy, as what you saw on the picture. Now they rotate at different speeds and move different directions. Now it's fun turning and trying not to get dizzy or fall down. Now, doing that certain different movements, okay? Are you good at keeping your balance? Okay? Have you ever seen floor moves? And which simple machine is needed for the crazy floors to make that turn? Okay? So, right after that, we can ask our student to build, like using the gears, because with this type of concept, okay, we can actually explore the different combinations of gear for us to achieve different types of movements. Okay? Now, in Lego education, it's very important for us to follow the 4C approach in order for us to succeed with our learning goals. So, the first thing is to connect, construct, contemplate, and continue. Okay, so a little overview. The connect piece is to set the scene for the given activity. What would be the idea is that when we construct things with our hands, we simultaneously construct knowledge in our mind. And during this phase, the student begins to solve problems and prompted by questions from their teachers, and they begin to reflect on what they are doing. Now, per contemplate phase, with this part, okay, the activity students reflect on what they have just done, and facilitating questions from the teachers force our student to verbalize what they have just discovered, and our student can also reflect on the activity and what they have learned as they explain to each other what they have just done. And then with this contemplation, it's vitally important in making students aware of their newly gained knowledge. And one of the most important phase is the continue phase. This presents a new challenge in which our students have to use their newly gained knowledge. The goal of this phase is to have the students apply the knowledge they gained earlier in the given activity, thereby consolidating what they have learn. Now, it also comes with a problem-solving activity. Talking about police, let's have the crane. So the thing is, what we just need to do is simply build a crane that like the one in the picture. Now, Sam and Sally have enjoyed spending time at their pair, and now the pair is going to be packed up. Sam and Sally enjoy watching a large crane that lifting some of the heavy equipment when the pair is packing up to leave the town. Now, Sam and Sally want to try to build a crane and pretend that they're part of the working crew at that certain pair. Now, we wish to help Sam and Sally to build a crane that like the one in the picture. So the thing is, we can build a crane that balance as well. So let's just simply have this example. But this is not a crane. This is just an example talking about balance. Okay. Then we can use to fix fully on the crane. Build a mechanism that makes the winding mechanism stay locked. All right. Now, if anyone is struggling with the task, what we can refer them is to back to the principles of models that can help them for inspirations. Okay. Remember, we have this. Okay, as their reference. Now, after everyone has finished testing with their cranes, we can ask each participants or group talked about their build and how they've assessed the given activity. Now, to facilitate discussions around the following points, there are following questions that we can consider. How well does your lock system work? How much load that can your crane lift? Assess how easily the crane can move the load and how well it's stable. All right. Then, what makes the load easy or difficult to move? So, for design briefing, they can build a crane that balances well. They can use fix fully on the crane. They can build a mechanism that makes the winding mechanism stay locked and assess how well the crane can work. Now, those are a sample lessons that we can enjoy using the simple machine Lego education set. So, what would be the another special thing about with these materials? It comes with a curriculum links under pulley. Now, for science curriculum, the thing is, what would be the point view for this? We can identify a pulley wheel. We can identify on how to build a model that will gear up and increase speed of rotation. We can build a model that will gear down and decrease speed of rotation. We can arrange the pulley so that the drive pulley turns in the same direction as the driven pulley. And then we can also arrange pulley wheels so they turn in the same direction, in opposite directions, or at 90 degrees to each. Now, under technology and engineering curriculum, we can build the three-dimensional models. We can follow the steps of engineering design process, and we can draw a picture of machines and mechanism. Now, for mathematics curriculum, we can predict outcomes of various trials, and we can count that certain rotations. So here's the thing. We have here the STEM curriculum grid for this certain Lego education set. And the good thing about it, it also comes with a curriculum highlights. So this STEM curriculum grid and curriculum highlight would be very helpful for the teachers on how you can use the materials successfully. Now, these are additional reference that we can use. The glossary is great if you need some help in identifying subject-specific vocabulary for your lessons. It can also be used to challenge more advanced students, helping them to gain a better understanding of subject-specific terms. Now, talking about the elementary survey can be helpful in sorting the sets and learning the names of the different elements. Now, this gives everyone a common language that will help with the communication and understanding in future lessons and discussions. All right. So, thank you so much. So, I guess that's the end of my lecture demonstration about introducing the concept of simple machines. Take it away, Miss Jen, and happy birthday.
Successful learning experience. I found that the LEGO education system really addressed meeting the needs of all learners, no matter how diverse, no matter academically where they were performing in other areas, they were all able to achieve and be successful using these materials. They had high interest level right from the start because it really puts the learning in the hands of the students.
I think it helps me learn and remember because I can actually feel it and do it with my hands instead of like the teacher doing it and just watching her do it.
They really didn't realize at the time how much they were learning, but through review, I can tell that they retained so much more than what they would have had this just been a paper pencil lesson.
I think that usually if we wouldn't have had this experience, we would have been doing this on paper and it would have just been a lot harder to understand.
Math is a right, the effect that that had on the build that they were working on.
I liked how it was shaped like a right angle and the small little thing hit the bigger one so it could move. The gears turn like if they're the same size, the two gears are the same size, they're going to spin faster because their teeth are all the same size. But if you have a smaller driven gear, then it's going to go slower.
The diagrams that they're looking at and studying, that's a text feature that we stress in reading to help them understand their reading comprehension and how to read a diagram. The students were in charge of learning this, and but seeing them make observations where I had not already given them, they were able to successfully hit the nail on the head exactly with what the goal of that build was.
It's more fun without just watching the teacher do it because we get to build it and well, she gets to watch us.
Each student did truly get to participate 100%, and it was a team effort.
My favorite part about being able to work with a partner is say you can't do something because it's hard for you. Somebody else can help you.
Seeing the students' engagement, seeing the smiles of success, the feeling that they are actually able to do something because they're able to work at their own pace. They were all able to succeed. They all feel confident, and they've mastered the material in a much quicker and a much more meaningful way than had I have tried to do this using a different resource.
Okay, so that is the power of LEGO education using a simple machine. No, thank you, Ma'am Annalyn, for your demonstration for that simple machine using wheels and pulleys. No, okay. So to elaborate our discussion for today, no, we have also Ma'am Jeneline with us, who will be our resource for today, ang ating birthday girl. Ma'am Jeneline,
Hello.
Happy birthday.
sa'yo. Happy birthday ulit. Okay, so ano
Okay,
ba
salamat.
yung i-discuss ngayong umaga?
Okay, so yung part ng kay Ma'am Annalyn is showing you where everything started from. So yung ating simple machines, yun ang ating kumbaga backbone, yun ang pinagsimula ng lahat. People were struggling in the agriculture back in the days kasi syempre iba-iba ang ating mga types of soil and nahihirapan silang maghukay. And then iba-iba din ang topography ng ating mga farming lots. So nahirapan silang magbuhat, nahirapan silang mag-move ng mga objects. So therefore, paano tayo nag-evolve from simple machine going up? Maraming magaganap or nagaganap na actually sa ating agriculture sector. No, I will be showing you what the future of AgroVet looks like in Industry 4.0. So Industrial Revolution 4.0 na. Hindi na tayo smart cities na talaga, hindi na ordinaryong farming. Kaya kailangan being in the Philippines, hindi pa tayo ganun ka-advanced. So, we have to help the government train students and put interest in them into escalating yung degree ng ating capacities doon sa ating agricultural sector. So, I will be sharing my slide. And I have a lot of videos. Therefore, please bear with technology. Okay. Ayan, hindi masyadong madaming nakatapal. Okay, I did the workshop with De La Salle Araneta, and this is the content actually. And before that, can you post po the link ulit doon sa ating live, Sir Wax? Yung I will be talking to you using Socrative students. So, ano ko to? So, welcome to Smart City Series 2, the future of food and agriculture. So, we'll be talking about what the future of agriculture looks like. And if you are one of those who are teaching or taking the agriculture course, this is probably something for you. So we want to innovate and revolutionize the food chain. So ang ating means of communicating with each other is the use of Socrative.com login student. So when you click the link that Sir Wax is going to put in the live stream, you will have to type in the room name. Our room name is Virtual Math. So kindly go to the link, click the link, type it in. If you have the app on your phones, which we already discussed this with some of the teachers already. If you have the link, click it. If you have the app, you can use it. The room name is Virtual Math. And just click join and wait for me there. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to log in and hopefully you can participate. Okay, lakihan ko to. Timer starts now. So at 9:52, we will be starting. Hintayin ko kayo sa Socrative teacher. So this is I'll split my screen muna so I can see. Okay. Ang ating presentation. Hintayin ko kayo doon. So I will be asking you. Okay. So at least kung may student na ako. Kung meron po kayong means to join, you can use your phone. All you have to do is click on the link. Sir Wax, nasa iyo ba yung... Hindi pala ito. Na-post mo ba yung link natin?
Na-share ko na sa FB at saka sa YouTube.
Oo, pa-share. Yan na pala. Tingnan natin kung may student tayo. Kung wala, wala tayo reaction. Okay, I should be doing this. Ayan. Parang wala pang pumapasok. Ayun, I have 4 na pala. Hindi ko lang nakikita. Okay, ulit.
Anong room name niya?
Virtual Math. Virtual Math. So, dito tayo sa true or false. Sasagot lang kayo ng yes, true. Pag yes ang sagot nyo, sabihin nyo true. Kapag no ang sagot nyo, sabihin nyo, ang i-click nyo ay false. Okay? So, I have 5 students in. Tingnan natin. So, don't. This is teacher. Wala pa akong tanong. Okay. Yan, sige, practice muna. Pag naka-in ka na, true. Kapag hindi pa, false. Siyempre. Okay, malamang sa true lang tayo. Okay, so at least I have 8 students. Let's see, we are in virtual math. So meron akong mga tanong. Tingnan natin. So it was said that we are, mamaya babalikan ko yung isa. We are revolutionizing the food chain kahit hindi natin alam. Okay, so meron akong 8 participants. Ang tanong, nung kakain ka, when you are about to eat, what was the first thing you do? Did you take, if you took a photo of the food, okay, finish natin to. Ulit ako ng tanong. Doon tayo sa short answer. So, ayan, meron akong 9. Magtatanong ako. Please answer my questions. Okay, I will require your name. Start. So this is, I have full control. So therefore, okay, ang tanong, what did you do with the food nung nakita mo yung food? 1, you ate it already. 2, you took a photo first. Okay, so what did you do sa inyong food? Did you took a photo or you ate it right away? Pax, hindi ka nakikinig. Okay, ito po ang tanong.
Di pa
Parang
lumalabas.
Oo, parang di tayo nagkakaintindihan eh. Wait lang. Ayan. Okay, ulit. What did you do? Parang may error tayo. Wait lang. Technical glitch. Lipat tayo ng, ayan. Took a photo. Okay, nung nakita ng food. Took a photo.
B1, tapos si true.
Bakit ganon? Wait lang. Ulit. Ay. Sorry. Technical error. Lagyan natin ng options. Ang option natin ay A and B lamang. Okay? A and B. Letter A, if you ate it right away. Letter B, if you took a photo first. A, you ate it right away. Letter B, you took a photo first. Yan. 11 ang students. So if you're going to use this Q&A, ito yung real-time response. So A, you ate it right away. B, you took a photo first. Yan, 50-50. Sabi na nga ba eh. Parang nagiging mandatory yung eat muna. Picture muna, bago kain. Yung gutom na gutom ka, napipigilan ka ng nanay mo. Wait lang, di pa yan napipicturan.
Picture of post, FB.
Okay, so you ate it right away, and B, you took a photo first. Ayan, 50-50, ang galing naman. So I still have 3 students left. Di pa siya nakaka-decide, di niya maalala. What did you do first?
Gising na kayo, gising. Join na po kayo.
Gising. Aga kasi natin eh. Okay, it took a photo talaga, prerequisite. Okay, one more. Ito na yung deciding person. Pero ito, 50-50. Okay. Sige. Finish natin. At least honest sila, no? Okay, next. When you took the photo, so ito ay para lang sa nag-take ng photo. When you took the photo, so half of our participants are a photo, may food pornography. When you took the photo, did you post it in social media? Okay? A kapag ka yes, B
True.
kapag ka no. Okay, pinost mo ba? Picture ka, di ba? Pinost mo ba sa social media? For those who answered, you ate it right away kanina, were there instances that you are eager to take photos and post it in social media?
Na true, oh. Ang daming true.
Madaming true, oh. Guilty, guilty. Okay. Ayan. Okay? 8. Oh, tatlo na lang. Okay, tatlo na. Ba't natatawa ako dito? 11 nagsagot, 10 lang estudyante ko may aswang dito sa aking classroom. Okay. 89%. So this is the power of data analysis, no? When we are planning for our class, we might consider using this so you can see where your class is going to. So 89%. So assuming sila lang yung ayan, isa na lang. Parang wala dapat yung isa kasi 10 lang tayo, but 11 ang nagsasagot. Okay, 80% na nag-take ng photo, who took the photo of their food actually posted it in social media. Next, nung nag-post ka ba, kinain mo ba talaga yon? Baka naman. Okay? Baka naman hindi sa'yo yon. Okay? Short answer. Let's see. Ayan. So, if you took the photo, you saw the food, you took the photo, did you actually eat the food or you just do it for picture purposes? Ayan, parang hindi nalabas. Ayan. Yes, I ate. Of course, sayang eh. Okay. I ate it, yes. Oh, baka naman kasi yun yung nasa table nyo. Sana all yun ang in-order. Yun yung nasa table nung kabila. Sana all yun ang in-order. Oh, natin yung tipid meals. Okay. So, when you saw the food, you took a photo, you shared it in social media, and then, nga naman. Oo, minsan kasi pinipicture, hindi na po pala niya kakainin. Pasabay lang pala yon. Okay. So, when you, yan, okay. So, 2, 4, 6. Tingnan natin. 10, may 4 pa natitira. Yes, I ate it. Very good. Pewak talagang mga sagot eh. Okay. Kakalahati na ba tayo sa 11 na tao? Yes, I ate it. May 4 pa nagde-decide. Kinain ko ba? Di nila maalala. So, when they were, okay, we're more than, yes, I ate it, but I kept the photo. Oh, yeah. For, sometimes, may tanong pa kasi ako mamaya, hindi ko ma-react. Mamaya ako magre-react. Yan. Ako nga, Ma'am Jocelyn, yung aking gallery, puro pagkain. Napapaghalata sa size. Okay, next. Finish ko ulit. I'm going to ask another one. Okay, next question. Ano ba yung aking PowerPoint? When you, did you receive responses asking for the taste? Okay, true or false ulit. Yes kapag oo. Nung pinost mo may reaction, masarap ba? Or saan mo binili? Or sinong nagluto? Mga ganon. Yes kapag oo, no kapag wala, sin zone ka. Diba? Solid. Solid tayo True. Siyempre nag-post ka, mukhang masarap. Or may comment. Okay? Ba, ang bilis nyo na sumagot. Gising na kayo Okay. Next. Up, may 3 pa. Ayan, 100%. So, as a review, kakain ka, pinicturan mo, pinost mo sa social media, kinain mo, and then ngayon may nag-react na. Masarap ba? Next question. Nung nag-response ka na masarap, tinanong ba nila kung saan mo binili? True or false? Okay, true kapag tinanong ka, false kapag hindi. Solid pa more. Online voting tayo. Okay, so when you posted, or kahit nung sinabi mong hindi masarap, tinanong ka pa rin ba? Where did you order or who cooked it? Did they ask you that question? Okay, dumadami na tayo, 13 na. Ibig sabihin, 13 na yung nanonood, Sir Wax. Bali, 15 na kasi kasama tayong dalawa.
Gising na po kayo mga teachers, Sabado na.
Maglalaban na yung iba. Okay, very good. So, nagtanong sila. Next question. Tinanong ba nila ang price? Okay, tinanong ba nila, masarap nga, magkano naman? Ayan, nakasulat sa online voting. HM po, how much po? Aba, may nag-pause. Ibig sabihin, wala akong pake kung magkano siya. Kakainin ko yan. Okay. Okay, see, we do have some variations in the responses, no? And you will see that majority of the respondents are concerned about the price. Kahit masarap, hindi agad-agad bumibili. Nag-HM muna. So the power of supply, the law of supply and demand ang target natin dyan. So that's very important in the future of food. Di ba, Sir Wax? Milk tea is life ngayon eh. Panahon ng milk tea ngayon eh. Diba? Okay, 70%. Okay, pwede na tayo dyan. Next question. Dalawa na lang. Ayan. Who amongst you have known the fact that the person who asked actually went and ate the same food? So, yung nagtanong ba sa inyo, ay na-convince nyo ba talaga? Wait lang. Huwag yan. Finish. Itong isa. Sorry. Okay. Yung na-convince nyo ba, meron ba silang feedback na sumunod talaga sila sa suggestion mo, or you go there and try the food, or masarap dyan, kumari ko yan. Pag nagluto si Sir Wax, sabihin ko, sige, punta kayo kay Sir Wax, masarap kumain dyan, kahit hindi, joke lang. True, yes. So if you were able to convince them, and then, ayan. Wala, Sir Sid. Oh, wala ka pang convincing power. Okay, so if you were able to, so see, it all started with your food and the choice of food you did. Oh, it's far. Location is the key to business, especially food. All right. So if you have a simple meal on your table, and we're talking about food, and mere posting on social media influences a lot of people. And it may be good influences, it may be bad, and it may be joyful experience, it may be sad. How does it go? When we post our food, we might help other business food serving people. When we post the food, we might be causing pain to some people. Pag araw-araw, tuwing meal, magpo-post ka ng food mo, then you might have other people feel sad kasi, ano ba yan, ako walang kinakain. Siya, umaga, tanghalian, hapunan, ang sarap ng pagkain, may merienda at midnight snack pa in between. Diba, Sir Wax? So, yun yung sabi ni Pastor Sani kanina, we have to be responsible food consumers. Okay? So, how hard is it? So, I'll leave that, and maybe there's 4 more people trying to answer. I'll go back to my slide. Okay, medyo madami-dami itong vids ko. So, bear with me. So, ayan yung ating data. Nag-data analysis pa lang tayo kanina. So, how does food apps or AI or food bots are changing how we eat food or how food is prepared for us? Let's see the video. Kinig ba, Sir Wax?
We're in the beginning of what appears to be a great technological upset.
May audio ako, Sir Wax.
But some say this has happened before.
The classic historical example of a technological disruption that most people would point to is what happened in agriculture. It used to be that half or more of the people in the United States worked on farms. Now, it's maybe 1 or 2% of our workforce is directly engaged in agriculture. So there was a huge disruption there.
The disruption was tools like the tractor and the combine.
The classic historical example of technological disruption that most people would
Haven't stopped.
We've always made machines that us people. Today, a farmer can plow the fields for 150 hungry people.
And barely has to lift a finger to do so. Machines increasingly equipped with sophisticated machine vision and artificial intelligence now plant, weed, and harvest an ever-growing array of crops. And it isn't just the field work that's being disrupted. Today, robots are prepping, cooking, and even serving us. Tasks that until recently, only a human could perform.
So when we hear the sound of the bell, we know that a new order needs to be prepared.
Fire one's the crane.
At Zoom Pizza, it's all about the fresh ingredient and the robots.
And now Martha's going to spread that sauce. And we want her to spread the sauce evenly, but not too evenly, because we still want to have that artisan feel.
Marta isn't your typical line cook. It's an industrial robotic arm modified to spread pizza sauce just so.
At Zoom, humans and robots work together to make pizza. The robots do the tasks that are repetitive, that are boring, that are unsafe, like sticking your hand in and out of an 800-degree oven.
Colin says thanks in part to the robots, only 9% of Zoom's operating cost goes to labor. A typical pizza restaurant might spend 25% on workers. But Zoom insists it's not out to replace people with robots.
Humans do the tasks that are human-centered, like cooking from scratch, preparing fresh produce, making sauce. And so this is how we're able to unlock human potential to give people better, more satisfying jobs, and how we're also able to reduce some of our hourly labor costs so we can spend more money on high-quality ingredients for our customers.
But to some employers, robots could be the perfect burger flippers as fast food workers demand higher pay. Last year, then CEO of Carl's Jr., Andy Puzder, who was briefly President Trump's labor secretary pick, told Business Insider that automation might be a way to counter a rising minimum wage.
There's no need or requirement for automation to replace jobs or reduce wages or in any way hurt human beings. The problem exists when the industry attempts to use automation as an excuse or justification to drive down wages for workers, somehow to pit robots and humans against each other, or to suggest that policy to raise the minimum wage is wrong-headed because it necessarily results in automation, which we have just not seen to be the case.
But closer to the ground, many farmers see automation as an absolute necessity as agricultural labor shortages loom.
We've got an aging workforce, so people who are coming out to do agricultural work, we're not getting that younger population into the job. Planning ahead for the future, it's important that we're ready to have fewer workers.
Crops like corn and wheat have been automated for decades. New robotics are now being developed to do the often backbreaking work of fruit and vegetable farming. Take this automated lettuce harvester at Taylor Farms.
The idea around this equipment was really take the hardest part of the job out, is the bending over and picking the lettuce. And so the automated harvester allows us to use water knives to pull the product off the bed tops and bring it up to a table where then it's inspected by human beings today.
The harvester reduces lettuce picking labor needs by half.
I think we're always moving down that automation track. I don't know if you get to full automation. There's a science around agriculture, but there's a bit of an art to it as well. But I think in terms of getting rid of the hardest part of the jobs, I see that continuing to flow.
Another California robotics company is taking on even more difficult and delicate harvesting, picking fruit.
So the advantage that people have over a robot is just the ability to do this task at all. It's never been possible before for a robot to recognize fruit and pick it without damaging the fruit or without damaging the tree.
But this prototype robot harvester uses cutting-edge machine vision and artificial intelligence to precisely pluck apples from the tree.
Our machine goes down an apple orchard row, takes lots of pictures of the apple canopy, and artificial intelligence is used to recognize those apples and find out where they are in the space. And then we use automation on the manipulation side to go and pick those apples off of the tree.
This machine was developed for the US apple industry, which has also struggled with labor shortages. It could be deployed in orchards as soon as the fall of 2018.
We're just beginning to inch closer and closer to what people can do in both vision and robotic manipulation.
As they advance, expect to see more robots making meals possible.
We're cooking from the heart. We're cooking from that place in us that's very human. So it's never our desire to look at automation as a way to completely change that entire process. We use automation in the places where robots are better than humans. But there are many places where humans are better than robots. Robots can't go to my local produce farmer and talk to him about what's coming into season.
At least not yet. Still, Zoom is already making room for a new bot, one that will pull the hot pies from the oven.
Yan. So, yan yung ating kanina. Wait lang, balikan natin ang ating, ayan, finish. So, I will ask again now. Do you think the Philippines is ready for that kind of agricultural advancements na ma-apply agad? True kapag oo, false if not. Ang bilis ng false. Okay, do you think the Philippines is, or at least getting there? Have you seen improvements in the agricultural sector? Or have you been teaching it in your classrooms? Those things. But if you feel like, honestly, no, I'll go with false. Ayan. So, 75%, that's 3 out of 4 have said na yes, they've been seeing it. Okay, and B ay false. Okay, mamaya babalikan natin yung ating data. Okay, so what you saw earlier was an application of the simple machines. Yung tinuro ni Ma'am Annalyn kanina, she was showing you the plows and the cart that can be used. So now, the problem we had seen in the video was fewer workers, fewer younger generation workers have been applying for the job. Farming in the US, majority are from Hispanic population doing that kind of job. And due to higher restrictions in terms of them coming during the season, nagkakaroon na sila ng mga shortage. So, we also saw that the integration of AI is coming into play. So, paano ba yung sa AI? Patingin nga natin. Okay, so one more. Balikan natin yung ating data. Ayan, 63% ang nagsabing yes. And 38% ang nagsabing no. So, dun sa nakita natin, we have the arm. So, we also have a robotic arm which will be included in our future webinars. But then, for now, let's focus on the general part. So, this series 2 of the webinar is showing you latest trends and innovation in the field of food preparation and agriculture. So, next week, you are actually going to build the device and we'll show you the actual device. Sir Dom will be with me and Miss Anne and friends from Gearbox. So, true or false? Short answer. Ang tanong, what are you going to do if you found a restaurant where one is being run by robots and one is being run by humans? Saan ka pupunta and why? Okay? If you are running to a food stall na may robot yung isa wala, where would you prefer to go and why? Okay? Human serving and why? Okay, I won't show your name na lang. Okay, where would you go and why? So answers may be, I'll go for the human serving because I want it customized for me. I'll go for run by robots. Yes, that's definitely my answer too. I would go to the one run by robots out of curiosity. Okay. Hindi nga, I will show your name. Oo nga. Oo nga, tama, Ate Deng. Si Ate Deng is also doing food prep. I will choose robot run restaurant because robots are precise and cool, right? Correct. Both. Ay, gusto ko yan, Ma'am Sherilyn. Both daw. Yep. Food stall. Sir Kennedy. And I'm going to the robot because I want robots making my food and see how they do it. I actually saw them doing it when I went to China last year, but it's a robot making tea. So, ininom ko talaga yung tea. So, I went there out of curiosity. Same thing as what Ate Deng had answered and whoever hello is. Yes, Sir Kennedy, magandang experience. So I hope you can experience the same. Sometimes they do it in Manila when they have expos. Maybe in Telta also, because we also have the double robot arm. Okay, so those were just the food and how we are influenced by what is being served, how it is being served, and who's serving, and how does other people influence our options, our choices. So we'll go with what is agriculture facing in the fourth industrial revolution. There are changes in the way we live and the way we work, and through this technology, like especially the Internet of Things. So our Tinkercad circuits under Sir Dom next week will be under the Internet of Things. It's actually robotics and IoT with IoT. Kasi focus na natin is automation. So what we have to do is look at how these technological advances help us. Tingnan natin ito. Ay, ito na pala yung, wait lang, sorry.
And so this is how we're able to unlock human.
Ayan pala yung una ko. Okay, so we have smart farming tools and we are facing digital financing. Ngayon, yung technology transfer super fast. There's precision farming, like what one of the responses is. There's precision, there's smart irrigation and control of the whole setup in the farm. Lego is being used as a part of how we expose the kids to think of taking an agriculture course through the building of structures that we can use in the agricultural sector. So the brick wall is a blogger, and he is making designs out of actual bricks. Marami kasi siyang bricks. So we can do the same with our LDD, and you can choose to send it to us. And let's see what you can build. Let's see what he has. Wait lang. Nandito, natabunan. Sorry. Natabunan na sa dami. Dito pala siya nabukas. Ayan. So as you can see, meron na siyang mga ginagamit na applications of simple machines. So meron siyang mga gears, and then meron na siyang mga cutters na ginagamit. So yan, this is one. He's using Lego Technic parts, and you can use the EV3 and other robot kits. It depends on how you design. So ito ay combination na. You can't find all the parts in one set, but you can definitely design everything. Majority of the parts are found in LDD. So if you want to try, you can design at least. And if you get the chance, you can build your own. So see how he is using the power of gears to maneuver. So yan, merong worm gear. And of course, meron siyang wheel and axle. And some of the structures are ramps and inclined planes on the gripper, and meron din siyang pumps for pneumatic. So if you can do cranes actually, like what Miss Anne have shown you earlier. Yan. Yan yung isa. Tingnan natin yung isa pa. Have one more. So okay, the idea of ramps coupled with wheel and axle. So the logic behind is so cool. Hindi po ito kayang gawin ng isang araw. Although for some experts they can, but the thinking process will require you a lot of work and programming. So when you're teaching in the classroom, the structure, so may mga students tayong may great builders, merong great programmers, merong both. So the lifter, meron siyang pulley and gears. Meron siyang crane. Ayan. Okay, very good. Okay, last one. So, mga wedge and gears. Meron din siyang crane. Lateral. Pangarap ko lang din tong mga bricks na tong parts eh. It's gonna cost you some money if you're a hobbyist building, but you can apply to Lego, maybe be a designer and present your ideas. So it's already using 2. Good.
Nasaan kayo? Diba? Ako binigyan. Hindi na daw. Nadinig, kaya lang nakalive siya.
Okay, ayan. Sir Wax, di ba parang sarap maglaro pagka gano'n ang iyong gamit, no? For now, ipon-ipon tayo, pero we can start again with LDD. So, hold up.
Pula.
Ayan. So, what do you think? Ano masasabi niyo dun sa inyong nakitang mga vids in terms of use of Lego? How do you think showing them to the kids can influence their interest in the agricultural sector? Let me see what you think. Waiting ako sa inyo. Wala pa. Okay, or pwede din kayong mag-comment dun sa live. Tingnan natin sa StreamYard.
Anong tanong mo? Birthday girl?
Ang tanong, what do they think doon sa ating Lego designs based on agricultural concepts? How do they think it can influence the kids to have interest in the field of agriculture in terms of robotics and STEM? Tingin nyo ba if they use those vids in their classrooms, kids will get interested. Sige, balikan natin yan. So while waiting, we have 5 tech innovations in agriculture. So yun yung ating data preserved in soil. We have innovative agriculture moving underground. So since we don't have a top soil layer space anymore, they're working underground. Grain feeds on rainbow waste. So what are rainbow waste? And using the sun to generate water and agriculture by aircraft. Yun yung top 5 tech innovations in agriculture. Eto yan.
The top 5 reasons you should come here
Mamod ko na lang kasi
Here
mahaba.
at Aerial Influence, we specialize in easier macro their employ on May the 4th, 19. Here we go. Number 5, water and fertilizer efficiency. Drones like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual or the Matrice 200 with an XT sensor, they have thermal capability. Now, what that means is that these thermal sensors can detect which portions of your field are over or underwatered, allowing you to water only the areas that need to be watered, which lessens the amount of fertilizer runoff and waste as well. And let's not forget drones like the DJI AgGrass series, which allows you to spot, spray fertilizer, water, and even spread seed. We have that one right here at Aerial Influence, as well as all of the DJI Enterprise products. So make sure you contact us. We're happy to answer any of your questions. Time. Gone are the days of solely counting your field on foot or on a tractor or via airplane. Drones can quickly and easily get a quick snapshot of your crops, even in hard to reach areas, as most of our drones have the ability to fly up to 4 miles away from the remote control as long as it's still within line of sight. So imagine scouting your back 10 from your front porch. That sounds pretty good, right? All right, number 3, increase your yields. So if you can scout your field more frequently because you have a drone, you'll be able to find potential problems before they get out of hand. That's going to save your crops and increase your yields. Simple as that. Number 2, mapping. Today's drones are so advanced that you can draw a map right on the screen on the remote control that you're using to fly the device and have the drone fly that precise path. If you need really precise maps or flight paths, you should step up to something that uses RTK, like the AgGrass series, the Phantom 4 RTK, and the Matrice 210 RTK. With those drones, you can get centimeter accuracy. It's like GPS on steroids, but it comes at a price. Speaking of price, let's get to the number 1 reason that you should be using a drone on your farm in 2019, and that is to save you money. That's right. The purpose of all of this is to help you save your hard-earned cash. Here's an example. On average, it costs around $2 per acre for a visual inspection or aerial survey. By using a drone, the return on investment could be realized within a single season. That's right. You could pay for your drone in 1 season by taking advantage of the technology that drones are bringing to the agricultural world. You guys excited?
Ayan. So, ito yung dilemma. When we are advancing in technology, sometimes we give up the labor sector, no? So it depends on where you're at. However, it's also beneficial as you have data preserved in the soil. So like what we saw earlier, we have soil mapping. So kung saan lang yung needed to be watered, that's the only area that you have to water. It saves you money when you are a farmer, so you get to spend less on water for irrigation. There's also rapid inventory and re-inventory based on what you see, because you have seen how many or how much you have on your land. Therefore, you can probably estimate how much you're going to produce and how much you are actually going to deliver to the consumers. Okay. The digital soil mapping does not only look at how wet or how much you have on the soil. It actually tells you geostatistics, how much, what can you plant on a slopey site, or what are the good classifications of the soil. So meron yung mga code. Actually, I'm not an expert in here, but I saw it ignited my interest because I can see that this is really helpful for farmers, especially when they're doing crop rotation. No? They know which ones to plant on a specific topography of the soil. Okay, the next one is moving underground. So there are a few technological partners that are known to produce technology like TVs, washing machines, and other devices and appliances we use at home. But now they are partnering with the agricultural sector in producing food. For example, Panasonic had helped Singapore's first licensed indoor vegetable farm. Sa Pilipinas, marami na nagha-hydroponics and aeroponics and other setups, no? Sony, Toshiba, and Fujitsu are also utilizing their former clean room facilities sa kanilang mga semiconductor plants. So they're growing lettuce in it. Okay, no wash, no soil. Greens are grown and are growing at a faster rate. They have been using LED lights to optimize photosynthesis. So dahil yun nga, underground, and they're using lights, different types of lights in order to simulate photosynthesis, which the plants are underground, therefore they're not receiving sunlight. Kaya, yan. Innovate nila yon, yung mga lack of Grains feed on rainbow waste. Ano ba yung rainbow waste? Yun yung mga waste natin na mga human beings. Hydroponics are using mineral-enriched water. Aquaponics, fishes and plants farming. We have the Bio Aqua Farm and aquaponics farm in Europe where vegetables are grown and rainbow trouts rear together in symbiosis. So, kailangan magbe-benefit. Merong symbiotic relationship ang ating nature and human and infrastructure. So dati, human and nature lang magkalaban. Ngayon, damay na yung infrastructure to complement both needs. So we are trying to go more organic and people are trying to consume more organic products for health reasons. And we are also helping other creatures like worms. And dati takot ka sa worms, ngayon you grow them for the vermicast because we need their poop. And then we also are trying to rescue bees. We even have indoor beehives. Okay, so the other one is using the sun to generate fresh water. So last time we introduced the use of the renewable energy, yun yung ating first series, and those resources are being used to the agricultural sector. It's running lower cost when you're using renewable energy, and we already discussed that last week. So, konti na lang ang problem. Hindi na masyadong problem yung power sources. Unfortunately, in the Philippines, we don't have much in the Manila, South Luzon area, and some other areas. Sa amin kasi dati, super daming farm areas. Ngayon, puro residential na. So, they're converting farmlands into residential areas and industrial areas. Therefore, ang pinapromote ngayon is use the solar panels on your roof. So, instead of sa farm area, sa bubong na lang ng bahay kinakabit din. So, not much into agri, pero more on residential for power consumption. Okay, they are trying to harvest solar power and they are using to desalinate and to supply hydroponics sa greenhouses. Okay, and then you saw the agriculture by aircraft, and that is the drone. Okay. There are positive and negative impacts of agriculture 4.0. The positive one is we make agriculture more simple and more cheap. It's cheaper because you don't have to have a lot of farmers. Unfortunately, there's some jobs that are being abolished in the farming sector. We have smart farming tools naman as positive impact. Mas madali yung data analysis, no? And but there is a need to attract and retrain talents. Like what I said earlier, our goal as teachers and as community partners is to influence the young people to at least engage in agriculture. And I'm so happy to have been working with De La Salle and CBSU kasi they have specialized courses for the agriculture, which is really, really nice. Precision farming is another positive impact. And although we are abolishing some of the job in the farming sector, we are actually introducing new line of jobs. Yung mga operators, they be trained and they know if it's working or not and will it help the farm. So parang ganun din, we are just converting the job, or not actually losing it. Although medyo mahirap sa mga medyo may edad na workers or owners. Actually, most of the owners are part of their workforce talaga. Precision farming includes precision fertilization of the soil, the moisture sensing, precision spraying. Kung dati pagka nagbomba ka ng gamot, pati yung mga halaman na imbis na damo lang ang mamamatay, pati halaman na mamatay. Ngayon, safe na, mas madali nang spray ng mga kailangan i-spray. Whether it's a fertilizer or it's a pesticide, they already know the differences. Okay, and there's global trends that's driving it. It's the rising population. We are increasing food demand. According to UN, 10 billion na tayo by 2050. So therefore, yung boost sa demand is 50% compared to what we have now. There's also a decline in the farming income. Kasi dami ng mga kalamidad, ang dami ng mga problema like COVID, no? There's digital native consumers. Yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, we are digital native consumers. We are tech savvy, turning into tech savvy people. We are millennials na daw, and we are driven by what we see on social media. Therefore, we are now changing the food chain. Hindi naman dapat bibili yung tao just because you posted na mukhang masarap, napapabili siya. So, imbes na he or she will be consuming the local produce, and there he will travel pa to go to another place which should have been reserved for those who live in the community. So nagkakaroon na ng drastic change in the law of supply and demand. We also have food loss and waste. Just because they're being influenced, minsan sa technology, just because it's producing more, maunti yung demand and sobrang dami ng production due to the effect na rin of the advancement of technology, wala namang consumer. Like what happened in Baguio when they did throw the tons of tomatoes and tons of bok choy, pechay, napa pechay. They are throwing it away instead of having it consumed. Okay, there's also lack of proper markup in the chain. So sana we try to look and study the trends, no, before we make decisions. So how does robotics influence? Let's see what it looks like. So in the university level, this is now their subject of study. The spraying is very precise. Super dami na trends. Okay, let's see. So, kompleto na yung series niya from planting to harvesting na. Okay, this is what Blue River Technology has to offer. Oopsie. Hold up. I'll be going back.
We're at New Bolton Center, PennVet's large animal hospital, and we're really excited to launch our Equimagine 4DDI CT imaging system to change the face of equine imaging. Well, there's a lot of aspects of equine biomechanics that we don't understand. The limb in motion, there's a lot of forces that occur, and we don't know how that translates into the risk for injury, and this will allow us to assess that.
The really thrilling part of this is that we hope to be able to get these three-dimensional images in a horse that's standing. The idea is that they will not have to be placed under general anesthesia to do the majority of the studies.
From a clinical standpoint, we will literally see things that we've never seen before.
That we're not only going to find new specific abnormalities and new characterizations of those, but we also think that the opportunity that 3D imaging provides is precision.
The ability of the resolution is much higher, and we'll be able to detect injuries hopefully at much earlier stages and prevent things that could be fatal either to the horse or honestly to the rider.
One of the most important diseases of thoroughbred racehorses is that they develop certain types of stress fractures that are very difficult to diagnose and characterize. This technology has the potential to diagnose those early enough that we can recognize them, manage them, and help prevent the horse from suffering a catastrophic breakdown on the racetrack. Another really exciting role that we think we can play here at New Bolton Center is to provide an avenue for translational work.
And the problems that we're going to solve here today, which is basically acquiring images with a significant amount of motion in a standing horse, those very same solutions can translate into the human market. Instead of a child having to be anesthetized and having an image performed of its head or its chest, they could sit there on their iPad and talk to their parents and have the image performed in 30 seconds. So that's one of the translational pieces that we hope to bring to Penn.
4DI is very proud to be part of the Penn University Consortium. We're only touching the elements of automation that will be brought into medicine with technology like that.
Penn is very excited to have this opportunity. For sure, this is the first installation of this kind in a veterinary school, and we're really looking forward to see what we can do with it.
Okay, so yan naman yung sa vets, no? So imagine if you are going to scan a horse, CT scan a horse, you can put him in a scanner, just like what you saw earlier. And it's going to be easier. Like when you saw the video of the 3D image, actually when we did Tinkercad 3D, imagine how excited the kids in the classroom would feel if they can design parts of the, like a cartilage that needs to be replaced, or like a part of the bone that needs to be replaced, and they can print it on a medical grade film, no? So they can design to help their animals. So if I would be a kid and I would engage in veterinary using 3D and robotics and everything that goes with technology, I will be super duper excited on that. Okay, so going next. Okay, so there's also the dogs. So imagine if you would do this to a dog. Let's see how it works.
It's a whole new world between robots and agriculture, and the use of automation on the farm is one of the big themes today at the TechCrunch Robotic Sessions Conference later on campus. And one of the big companies in agriculture that's using robots in the field is Driscoll's Berries. You might recognize them. It's the largest berry distributor in the world. And they're testing out this robotic strawberry picker. Take a look. It delicately picks the fruit without bruising it, which is so critical in getting it onto store shelves and into your home. And that's where soft robots come in as well. That's a whole industry in itself. Soft Robotics is a company based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And look at that. It uses its malleable robotic hands. Look at those blue hands there to pick tomatoes off trees.
Those machines, baka hindi na tayo mag-import because we have farmlands pa naman, but we don't have that kind of technology yet. Okay, and the funny thing is, there is a game app intending horses for
Rated
kids.
E for everyone.
Okay. Sir Wax, nag-farm bill ka ba nung panahon ng farm bill?
Yes, usang-uso yung farm bill, no?
Oo. Kasi yung farm bill nag-evolve na, sir. Hindi na siya 2D image. 3D na. So, if you are actually, imagine if you are discussing agriculture but you're playing it within the game. So, sa ating mga ag teachers, TLE teachers, I encourage you to use these tools. Hindi naman kailangan laging Lego, no? Hindi naman kailangan laging Arduino. You have multiple technology ways. Even games, game simulations for kids can be used in the classroom. It always depends on how we encourage them. And besides the technology of the racing and everything, let's also look at the ethical issues. Tingnan naman natin itong isa pa. Daming bead pero maliliit na beads lang yan.
This might be the future of meat.
Welcome to the future.
It's delicious. 100% raised in a lab.
Cell-cultured meat is a way of making meat that's more efficient.
Making our food more efficiently will be key to feeding the world's growing population. In the next 50 years, we'll need to raise more food than we produced in the last 10,000 years combined, even as climate change makes agriculture less predictable.
You know, a lot of nonprofits have tried to persuade people to change the way they eat, but by and large, Americans like to eat meat.
Cell-cultured meat isn't a veggie burger or the bleeding plant-based proteins like the Impossible Burger. It's actual meat. And startups in the US, UK, Israel, Netherlands, Japan, and China are racing to get this technology to market and on people's dinner tables. They promise a kind of utopia where we can eat as much meat as we want without straining the environment or hurting an animal.
Eventually, we see a world where the majority of meat made doesn't require killing a single animal, doesn't require all that land, doesn't require all that water, and ends up, you know, having a barbecue that just tastes as good as I remember when I was growing up.
But will cell-cultured meat live up to that promise? I'm Phoebe Bradford. This is Quartz. Subscribe to our channel. It didn't look or taste like a normal hamburger. On August 5th, 2013, Dutch scientist Mark Post presented the first cell-cultured hamburger to the world. The product wasn't perfect. It didn't look or taste like a normal hamburger, and it cost $330,000 to make. But it was a promising start. Dr. Post's burger told the world that sustainable, scalable, slaughter-free, antibiotic-free meat might be possible. That could be game-changing for the planet. The world demands more meat every year. And large-scale animal production, so-called factory farms, has raced to meet that demand, but not without environmental consequences. Livestock are responsible for 14.5% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. 26% of the planet's ice-free land is used for livestock grazing. 33% of croplands are used for livestock feed production. And in the US, 70% of all medically important antibiotics are sold for use in animals. And even with these large-scale farm operations, demand for meat is set to outpace production.
You try everything yet?
I tried the chicken nugget. It was delicious. Josh Tetrick and his team at Just are in the race to develop cell-cultured meat. They're working on making Wagyu beef. And they've already cultivated and harvested edible chicken. To make their chicken nugget, Josh's team only needs a handful of cells.
I mean, this would be probably even a small scale enough cells to make some nuggets.
Vitor Santo is the Associate Director of Cellular Agriculture at Just. This flask of pink fluid are cells he's cultivating into meat we can consume.
And from one sample that you take, how much meat can you potentially create?
So theoretically, from one single isolation, one biopsy, we can get enough cells to make our full line of chicken products.
To make a Just nugget, technicians collect stem cells from those isolations and put them in a nutrient-dense liquid medium. Think of it as the feed, and it goes in a bioreactor. There, cell mass grows and proliferates. The resulting product, a combination of muscle and fat tissue, is identical to conventional meat on a molecular level.
This is great in terms of texture because it shows that the cells are not only producing the proteins that will give the flavor of muscle, but also the texture.
And what do you say to those who are still maybe hesitant?
What it literally is getting cells from animals, then compare it to what currently exists. What currently exists, I'm not talking about Old McDonald had a farm in, southern Alabama. I'm talking about large industrial production of animal protein. Look at those two side by side, and then ask yourself, what are the other options?
The problem is that it's still very hard to compare those two side by side. Companies have made little scientific data available for independent review, which makes critics wonder if cultured meat can make it out of the lab and onto our plates.
There's not a production facility that exists yet where we can measure, this is how much water this uses, this is how much electricity it takes, this is how energy intensive this is.
Chase Purdy is writing a book on cell-cultured meat.
And until we have that information, we won't know exactly how environmentally friendly this new process is.
This is cause for concern for people like Danielle Beck, Director of Government Affairs at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, which lobbies for the interests of the beef industry and small family farms.
Until, I think life cycle assessments can be conducted on a commercial scale, until these products have been put forward for folks like the American Meat Science Association to get a hold of, until we can work better together. Yeah, there's a lot of questions left unanswered.
In March, the USDA and FDA reached an agreement on how they would share the responsibility of overseeing cell-based meat products, from early growth stage to packaged product. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association supported the regulations, and Josh says they're also a win for the cell-cultured meat industry.
In order for the biggest customers in the world and consumers to feel comfortable with this, there needs to be a regulatory framework. We believe it's safe, we know it to be safe, but the goal is not to feed ourselves, the goal is to feed millions of people.
This is only the first step in the battle to get cultured meat to market. The agreement between the USDA and FDA hasn't announced how these products will be labeled.
The conventional meat industry is very reticent to let these cell-cultured meat companies call their products meat. What's in a name? That's like the million-dollar question for a lot of the people that are in this world. Why it matters is that this is like how people will perceive this product.
In states like Missouri, legislation has passed banning cell-cultured meat from even being called meat. It's inspired other states to follow suit.
So the labeling is important because at the level of DNA, this is meat. But the reality is it's going to be a major hurdle if we have to invent new language to talk about something as familiar to people as meat.
Do you think that the biggest barrier to entering the marketplace right now for cell-cultured meat is regulation or the technology?
Regulation, absolutely. The technology is ready. The science is there. The science has been there for a while. It's really all about governments around the world figuring out how to regulate these products.
It could be that cell-cultured meat will debut abroad where technology has advanced, public consensus is encouraging, and regulations are more favorable, like China. But when governments do finally allow cell-cultured meat to enter the marketplace, Chase thinks grocery stores everywhere will stock it.
I don't think that sort of this conventional meat that you can get today so easily will ever truly, fully go away. I think that if cell-cultured meat can be about the same price as the meat we buy today, I think if it looks the same, and I think if it tastes the same, it will be just as common to see it in a grocery store as conventional meat.
Ayan. Sir Wax, would you eat from a lab-grown meat?
Hindi ko pa na-experience yan.
Ha? Kakain ka ba nun? How would you know that you're actually eating a chicken meat? Yun ang $1,000,000 question. Baka kung anong meat na yung kinakain ko, hindi ko pa alam. Okay. So, back to our audience. Kung nandyan pa sila, let's see. Would you eat the lab-grown meat? So, it's a question, it's an ethical issue question. Gusto mo ba yung chicken you saw growing and ate it? Or would you rather choose to have other stuff? So, yung regular stuff. Would you eat it? Sino kayang kakain ng lab-grown meat? Actually, I'm curious, but I'm scared at the same time. Based on the video, agriculture doesn't only deal with technology. It's been existing. It's been there for a long, long time ago, 2010, 2013, and even earlier. So, yung ating kanina na simple machines have evolved into many developments already. The question now is based on values. Would I be eating this? Would I rather save the chicken that I raised as a pet and just have it cell cultured, harvest yung cells niya to grow my meat. So my chicken will be with me forever as long as it can live, but I can still eat part of it without killing it. So, sino yung, ano yung masasabi ng ating mga audience? So, technology, like we said earlier, has a lot of issues. That's why, imagine 7 years na, mag-11 years na, hindi pa natin yan, hindi pa yan na-release sa market. 7 years, anong nangyari sa 7 years, ba't di pa na-release? Sabi ni Ma'am Emily, no. Ayan, sabi ni Hello, I will eat for the sake of animals. Go for animals preservation. Di ba ang topic natin before, like dun sa ating windmill, ay will we develop wind turbines to save the birds? Hindi na lang itutuloy. Or like, ito naman, ang issue natin on food is, are we going to kill the animal or harvest the cells, the stem cells, and produce? So, ayan, yung issues, ang dami nating issues. Meron din tayo sa ating technology issues, meron tayong ethical issues, meron din tayong soul. Sabi nga ni Pastor kanina, feed your soul, whatever your values is, whatever you believe in. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng mga vegetarian. Ako kasi omnivorous ako, Sir Wax eh. So ikaw ba, vegetarian ka ba o carnivorous ka lang talaga? Yan, yun yung mga questions. Rehas. Kahit ano kinakain. Good. Yes. Okay. So, mamaya tingnan natin kung may iba pang magsasagot. So, I'm almost done here. Konti na lang. Kanina nakita niyo na yung drone. So, ganito yung camera, thermal camera, and seeing what the agri area looks like. Now, last part of it is the actual machine learning. So, yung ating technology doesn't only come with a hardware component and the software in terms of sensing and stuff. The results or the outputs that are produced goes into the analytics of it. We have to mine the data and look at the trends. For example, in this type of dati, we can still trust na kapag January to hindi na January, February to May sa US is spring, and if it goes May to August, it's summer, and then August to November, it's fall, and then nasusunod na yung winter. Pero ngayon, due to climate change, hindi na. So, we rely on the actual behavior of the living things that we used to eat in terms of livestock and in the produce. So, we use machine learning to predict ano ba yung genes na dapat nating i-hybrid or something para makapag-produce ng more adaptable and high-quality crops that are being produced. They're even using satellite data to distinguish yon. So, we also have machine learning in terms of point of sale, sino ang nag-order, anong pinagpilian. Sino nag-usap? Paano nag-usap? Who is reserving? Who's doing the inventory? Who is actually releasing at the point of sale? And who are the ones selling? So, yung consumer, parang succulent ko lang yan, Sir Wax. Ngayon, wala nang mabili. Kasi ang mahal na. Mayroong mga plants, but it's the price have gone double, even triple na. So we have to study the data infrastructure in terms of data structure. Ano yun? Ito na yung trabaho ng mga nag-AI at saka nag-data analysis and using the machines as well for machine learning din. We have data inputs. Ito yung topic natin next week. Dapat may input, may algorithmic modeling, processing, machine learning na maganap. And then we can have desired output. Ano ba yung SKU? Stock keeping unit. So, like, if we're in, ano ba maganda example? If you are in poultry, marami pang eggs, wala namang supply, would you not harvest the eggs and store, or harvest and diretso stock up and for release? Or ano ba yung dapat na gawin ng ating mga devices? We have to be planning. Okay, tingnan natin. So, ito yung tinitingnan, no? So, when you click on social media and you look at the commercials and you actually click the commercials on FB, ito yung nagsisend ng information to those companies when they are paying for the boost in your FB post or Twitter when they tweet, who are clicking it. And later on, just because you registered your email address, you are receiving some of the links are actually clickbaits, no? When you click it, you actually subscribe diretso. So now you're receiving ads and you keep on receiving ads kahit hindi ka naman nagso-subscribe kasi nga they are the AI is trying to look at the trends on what you're clicking. So we are now looking at the supply chain. Meron na nga yung blockchain. Ano ba yung blockchain? Tingnan natin. Ito na yung last natin, almost.
A typical agricultural supply chain involves complex interconnected processes between various stakeholders such as the producer, inspection and insurance companies, logistics and shipping agencies, banks, manufacturer and importer before it reaches a consumer sitting in another corner of the globe. However, in this long process, there are quite a few challenges. Importers find it difficult to track provenance, to understand the place of origin and quality of the imported produce. As the produce moves between multiple stakeholders, the ownership or custodian information becomes difficult to trace. Centralized bodies, especially private agencies that certify crop produce, may not be trusted by international importers. Information flow between stakeholders is sequential, leading to potential delays in downstream decision-making. Overall, stakeholders lack transparency in this process and lose track of relevant transactions. So, how do we tackle these challenges? Introducing Infosys Blockchain. Any activity can be documented and stored in the distributed ledger only with consensus among all participating stakeholders, thus making the network more trustworthy than any individual entity. Untrusted stakeholders can transact amongst each other through smart contracts without the need for a centralized body. Every stakeholder will have their own copy of the same distributed ledger, which enables information access in near real time. Meet Raj Kishore from Uttar Pradesh, who specializes in mango cultivation. Every year, Raj sells a bulk of his mango produce to Mohan, who owns the Royal Pulp Factory in Uttar Pradesh. Mohan, in turn, receives an order to export mango pulp to Charles Becker, who owns Becker Packaged Foods in Germany. He will add details about his crops, request inspections, and get his produce insured at the right time. The contracts between Raj and Mohan, as well as between Mohan and Charles, are stored on the blockchain network as smart contracts. Relevant stakeholders certify the produce with standard certificates. Once the mangoes are harvested, Raj generates the invoice and requests a pickup. The logistics company picks these mangoes up from Raj's farm and delivers it to Mohan's warehouse. The delivery receipt is updated and made available to all stakeholders on the network. Once Mohan accepts the consignment, the smart contract between Mohan and Raj is executed, and Mohan's bank will be notified to initiate an open account transfer to Raj Kishore's bank. The transaction details will then be updated on the blockchain network. Meanwhile, Mohan is busy making mango pulp to be delivered to Charles Becker. The pulp is inspected and certified as well. Mohan then issues an invoice to Charles. Charles tracks the provenance of the product entirely from where the mangoes were cultivated to the inspection and insurance details before accepting the invoice. Mohan then raises a shipment request with the shipping company. Once the bill of lading is uploaded by the shipping company, the smart contract between Mohan and Charles gets executed, and Charles's bank initiates a payment to Mohan's bank. The transaction details are updated on the network. Thus, Charles, sitting in Germany, is able to remotely track the provenance of the mango pulp imported from India. Infosys Blockchain simplifies life for everyone in the supply chain. It ensures that all stakeholders gain transparency in every transaction through a trustworthy private network and increases the acceptance of Indian produce globally.
Okay, so we are not promoting these machines and AI service providers, but we are trying to show you what the trends in technology would look like. Ngayon, paperless, okay, and faster transactions. We just have to use our smart apps and see, using the app, what is going on with the product and who is receiving. So the change in managerial approach would be different, and there would be transparency, and you are definitely sure kung legit ba yung mga kinakausap natin. The money, you don't have to worry how much it is, then you just have to click on the transfer, and I don't know about the retrieval pag nagkamali ka, but it depends on your banking services. So the produce will not leave the facility without a defined consumer. So yun yung maganda sa blockchain, and everything can be reviewed. You are going to see. Now let's look back as statistics natin kanina, 50%. Okay? So, dun sa ating nag-reply, ang sabi niya ay, yeah, I post it on social media. Yung revolution, dahil na-promote to, nag-trending siya. Bibili ako kasi trending siya. Mahilig kasi ang tao na makiuso, makibagay. So, your question earlier was about, did you post it? Did you share it to other people? Now, let's see. Ayan, meron pa palang isang na ganun. No, I prefer to eat vegetables than meat. Oh, pati tinry ko yan, ma'am. Di ko kaya. I need the protein. Maybe next time. Okay, but I will try again. Okay, short answer. Did you do... wait, huwag mo na. True or false na lang. Did you do photo editing before you posted the photo? Yan, finilter mo ba? Finilter mo ba yung photo na yan? Did you tweak it a little bit? It's not actually what it looks like. Sometimes it's not even what it looks like in person. Okay, tingnan natin. Sino ang nag-filter prior to posting? Ayan. One of the three. Hindi na nag-filter. Gutom na eh. Picture upload agad. Okay, so, yeah. My filter is real. So, we have 9 students who are engaged in the Socrative app. For 3 of them said, finilter before in-upload. Ayan. Diba? 4 na nagsabi, filter muna para mas maganda ang ano. Yung iba nga ina-arrange pa nalagyan ng plating. Okay, so it looks more delectable. Okay, so sino naman ang nagregret? Ayan, ito tanong niya. Nagregret. Finish natin. Na pinost niya pa, na post pa daw. True kapag nagregret, false kapag hindi. Bakit ko ba na-post pa yon? Yan, wala pa namang nagsisi. Na na-post niya pa yung food. Meron na ba dito yung nagregret na pinost niya yung food? Oh, meron. Okay. I regret posting the photo because sabi ko masarap. Tapos nagpunta sila. Tapos hindi pala masarap. Nagalit pa. Okay, 50-50. 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. Okay, let me see how else. Ayan. So, people, balikan ulit natin yan mamaya kasi we're almost at the end of our presentation. So, ang last na tanong, who got negative reactions and what were those? Ay, ayan, mas marami pa yung hindi nagre-regret. Finish natin. Another question. Okay, sino yung may negative reaction? Ano yung reaction? Tingin ko nga, may negative reaction, ano yung sinabi nung nag-comment sa post mo after they saw the post? Kasi meron kanina na nag-regret eh. Tingnan natin what were your answers. So, waiting. What were the reactions you got? Galing mag-edit, kulang naman ingredient. Okay, Ate Ding, masarap lang tingnan. OMG. Yun ang masakit. Mukhang masarap pag subo mo isang ngagat na lang, tas 500 yung binayad mo. True. Tama, di ba? So, yan. So, posting is not good. We have to be responsible social media users. Oo nga, tama. Ay, okay. Sobrang mahal pala. Okay, natawa ko doon, Sir Kennedy. Sobrang mahal pala napasubo. Oo nga, kasi nga, order agad. Ano, pamain agad. Okay, so therefore, when we try to influence, good thing for hello, who don't have social media, it's always nice to every now and then you post, but posting for the sake of posting is not really helpful. Yeah, positive comments lang, mabuti yan kasi they agree. Sometimes if we are, like I'm a reseller, so I am also a consumer. Minsan yung mga reseller, sila rin daw nagbibilihan sa isa't isa. But then, I would suggest for people, it's my opinion, I just wanted to suggest, if you don't believe in the product, please don't post. Kasi nga, we are influencers, we are part of the ano ba tawag doon? Enzymes na nandun sa law of supply and demand. We influence other people. Kung hindi tayo nag-post, baka walang negative na reaction. Or kung hindi naman tayo nag-post, baka hindi naman siya nag-trending at di siya nabili, which is masarap naman talaga. So, we are, the food industry is evolving. The people and the consumers are evolving. Yun yung ating gusto kong makita natin na we have to be wise and we have to be aware of what's going on. Hindi lang tayo bili ng bili. We have to be lessening our carbon footprints. We have to parang sa saying natin, tangkilikin ang sariling atin, and if we can help the sector, the government in developing the trends in agriculture in the Philippines by teaching the kids to engage in it as young as they can be, even in the gaming, introduce natin sila. Ito po yung aking references. If you want to take photos, madali lang po, i-search nyo lang Agrobet or Agribots. Marami po siya. I'll post this slide doon sa Power and My Wall para mahanap natin, and then the other groups. Okay? So, ayun po. sana po ay naliwanagan tayo. So, how do we encourage them? First, encourage the kids to engage. Balikan ko yung aking layo pala. First slide. No, ang title natin for today is Smart Cities, the Future of Food and Agriculture. We are on the food sector of the smart cities. How do we provide and produce muna and then provide food and take care of the leftovers and take care of and plan for the shortages using technology, AI, and the like. So, yun po yung ating objective for today. So, if you can help us teach the kids in the classroom to get involved, you are a college professor and you can incorporate agriculture in your material. We encourage you to help us build responsible citizens in food consumption and food production, and maybe develop engineers or nutritionists in the future, so we can discuss these topics as young with kids as young as they can be. So, yan. May mga tanong ba, Sir Wax?
Actually,
Tapos na
kanina,
po.
nung nagtanong ka no, about if ever napupunta ka sa isang resto, which would you prepare? No, having the robot serving you or humans? Sabi ni Facebook user, no, I'd go to a restaurant run by humans. Mas may puso ang food preparation. I consider also going to the one with the robots for an amazing experience, no? For experience only.
Yes.
And since we are an agriculture country, it would be great to develop and tap the interest and skills of our learners in robotics, applying concepts in the field of agriculture so we can achieve one of the development goals, which is food security. Okay.
Daming issues.
Sabi din sa mga
diba? Teka lang, pa-shoutout muna sa mga anak ko na nasa FB na nag-message. Ang aking pamangkin nasa California, nanonood siya. Si Bebe Patricia and si Bebe Jane. Salamat po sa mga greetings.
Sa mga greetings din. Very informative talaga yung ano mo and relevant yung talk natin today. Robots don't just serve, but actually they have they are used for higher yields, for seeding, for soil analysis, for all the menial tasks ng mga farmers natin. Sana nga marami pong farmers pa rin ang magtanim para sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Kailangan natin ng more food production.
Mga bata kasi daw ayaw na madumihan. Gusto mag-cellphone, ayaw madumihan, kaya ayaw na mag-farm.
Sa ibang bansa nga, yung mga farmers ang pinaka magandang negosyo eh. Sa atin with the help of technology, ma-uplift natin yung farming industry, agriculture. Pag na-combine natin yung pareho para hindi sila masyadong mahirapan pag nagtatanim. Yun.
Tama.
Galing.
Oo.
Ay, napagod ako.
Napagod ang birthday girl. Napagod ang birthday girl natin.
Hindi, ma'am, kasi actually, as a plantita, tawag ko plantita. Plantita ako talaga kasi ever since. I really, if I would have gotten the chance, di ko na nga alam kung ano ba talagang course ko dapat kasi litong-lito na ako sa sarili ko. Pero I strongly believe that everybody should be a farmer in their own way. Kasi katulad yan, pandemic, di ka makapunta sa palengke, how would you buy gulay? Meron ka namang kapirasong backyard. So I added myself sa Manila Growth din, is a group na urban farming, no?
Yes.
So, yan, kailangan natin yan. Magtanim kahit kapirasong sili sa iyong paso.
Oo, malunggay, yan. Ako, may talong malunggay, luya.
Oh, really, ha? Nice.
So, may questions pa ba? Or we can give them a peek view of what is in store next week?
Yes.
Yep, pwede. Yeah.
Smart cities pa rin tayo.
So, tapusin natin series, no? Sa next Saturday, it will be another topic, no, Ma'am Jen?
Apo, next Saturday, we'll have Gearbox, no? Nag-confirm na sila, ma'am, no? Yes, excited ako. They will actually do the demo. And then Sir Dom and I will be just giving a background just like how Ma'am Ann is doing such parang support. But Sir Dom has his own little setup using the Arduino kits. Meron siyang ipapakita sa atin na actual, and at the same time, he will be teaching sa Tinkercad, I believe, or other software, whichever is needed, no? Yeah.
Simulation.
So, yung mga ngayon na nandito na bago pa lang at yung iba na dati na, you can still use the same account. You don't need to make another account. Don't try to download Tinkercad because it's web-based. What you need to download is nawawala yata ako. Ayan. Pwede nilang i-download and you can share to us sa page ni Felta, sa page ng STEMified, and sa page ni Power. Let's see what you were able to create and let's see how we can influence. Di lang puro food ang pinapost, ideas din pinapost. But we have to be careful din, no? Para maka-encourage tayo ng kids. Okay? Dami nag-PPM na kids na nag-share ng output nila, parang yung mga nanay nagluto, silang pumalit nanood ng webinar.
Maganda yan, naiintindihan nila na we are really preparing the future, you know. As I said, we have to win the future.
Yep. Ganda yung comment ni Ma'am Belen. Filipinos are by nature creative innovators. The possibilities are limitless. Very true naman. Yes.
Very good.
I love how we have teachers, we have parents, and we have just passers-by, nakikitambay, nanonood, and we have teachers in the lower years and in the higher years, no? So we need to be in this together. Yan. Salamat po, sabi ni Sir Kennedy. Thank you. This webinar is very informative. Sana lahat ng munting magsasaka ay mapanood ito. Yes! Share nyo naman ang page namin, ang aming YouTube channel ng I Create. Dami namin channel. I Create.
Cafe Manila.
Yes. And then Felta, Power. Actually, Professor Wax Benson is the YouTube channel. And then, sa akin po is, yun, pwede niyong regalo sa akin yun. Please like and subscribe to my channel sa The STEAM Powered Teacher. Ayan.
Okay, so salamat Felta, salamat STEMified for a very informative topic that we discussed this morning. Na totoo, yung mga farmers po natin, no, kung nanonood po kayo, malaking tulong po talaga itong ating pong ipinakitang topic for today. Maraming pong salamat sa inyo. Okay? So, and then, huwag niyo pong kakalimutan, every Saturday po ang ating pong ipinapakitang webinar. So, sana makita pa rin po namin kayo. Okay?
I'll see you next week.
Po natin. Okay? So, before we end, we will play again the video about the simple machine. No, from learning education. Okay?
And then, wait lang, one more. Si Ma'am Maylin muna.
Hindi, sabihin ko, happy birthday.
Ay, okay. Okay, yung sa akin,
virtual blowout na lang tayo, virtual blowout.
Oo. May nakalimutan pala ako i-share sa ating Lego Education site. Saglit lang, Sir Wax. Pa-share muna ng aking mahiwagang screen.
Sige po.
Okay, so yung ating yung pinakita ni Ma'am Annalyn kanina na hand cart lever, nandito po siya sa Lego Education. We have the tower crane.
They can bake it.
They can recreate. Ito po yung may sample. We have the ramp. Ito po yon, yung mga design. And then they can recreate. Actually, they can design their own. It's a combination of the ramp and the pulley. We have the hand cart. Okay, yung, ayan. Pwede yan sa LDD. Kuha nyo lahat ng piyesa niyan. You can do an activity to ask the kids to design their most ideal cart.
Yes, food cart.
We have food cart. Pwede. Oo, agri cart or food cart. lever. So, meron din po dito, yan, the load and the pivot and the effort, ang math computation. Maganda din po itong lesson. And yung pinakita ni Ma'am Annalyn na book, if you don't have the kit yet, I highly suggest you, if you get the chance to avail that kit, kasi very, siya talaga, maganda siya for kids to start with.
Simple machines.
And then, nandito yung simple machines na instruction. And also, meron ding catapult. And you can do a mini. Ito yung partner ng cart, yung base ng cart, pwede mong gawing catapult kasi nga, bigyan mo lang ng rubber band. Ito yan. Madali lang, super dali. So, you will spend time with kids playing while learning and at the same time thinking highly. Yan po.
Yeah. Okay, thank you sa inyo pong lahat.
Okay.
The video again.
Okay.
All right.
The integration into our science curriculum and class has been a very successful. I found that the LEGO education system really addressed meeting the needs of all learners, no matter how diverse, no matter academically where they were performing in other areas, they were all able to achieve and be successful using these materials. They had high interest level right from the start because it really puts the learning in the hands of the students.
I think it helps me learn and remember because I can actually feel it and do it with my hands instead of like the teacher doing it and just watching her do it.
They really didn't realize at the time how much they were learning, but through review, I can tell that they retained so much more than what they would have had this just been a paper pencil lesson.
I think that usually if we wouldn't have had this experience, we would have been doing this on paper and it would have just been a lot harder to understand.
Math is a tie into science most often. We use terms with ratio, right angles, the effect that that had on the build that they were working on.
I liked how it was shaped like a right angle and the small little thing hit the bigger one so it could move. The gears turn like if they're the same size, the two gears are the same size, they're going to spin faster because their teeth are all the same size. But if you have a smaller driven gear, then it's going to go slower.
The diagrams that they're looking at and studying, that's a text feature that we stress in reading to help them understand their reading comprehension and how to read a diagram. The students were in charge of learning this, and but seeing them make observations where I had not already given them, they were able to successfully hit the nail on the head exactly with what the goal of that build was.
It's more fun without just watching the teacher do it because we get to build it and she gets to watch us.
Each student did truly get to participate 100%, and it was a team effort.
My favorite part about being able to work with a partner is say you can't do something because it's hard for you. Somebody else can help you.
Seeing the students' engagement, seeing the smiles of success, the feeling that they are actually able to do something because they're able to work at their own pace. They were all able to succeed. They all feel confident, and they mastered the material in a much quicker and a much more meaningful way than had I tried to do this using a different resource.
So that is the power of a simple machine from LEGO Education. So once again, we thank you, Felta Multimedia INC, together with the STEMified Learning Center and Power NC for staying with us this morning. So makita-kita po tayo sa susunod na Sabado. Okay? So magpaalam na po tayong lahat. Babay po sa inyo.
Happy birthday, Miss Jen.
Jen.
Salamat.
See you all
Salamat
next
po sa mga nagsagot.
Salamat po.
See you all next week. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.